It's a great delight for me to be here today for the groundbreaking of the launch of the Special Agro-Industrial Processing Zone for your state. I wish to thank you very much, thereby Your Excellency Governor McInerney, for welcoming us so warmly to a historic city of Ibadan. As you know, I was born in Ibadan, I was raised in Ibadan, and I live in Ibadan, so I am the son of Ibadan. And so it's wonderful to be here. And also, I was looking very much forward to seeing His Excellency Shetima, the Vice President, because the Vice President actually went to school in Ibadan here. He actually went to University of Ibadan, where he got his master's in agricultural economics. So you actually welcome me, even though represented two Ibadan sons of the soil here at the same time. I wish to actually start by saying that I had a conversation. Many people do not know this. His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu on June 23rd, 2023 in Paris, just shortly after his inauguration. And the first thing on my agenda to the President was the Agro-Industrial Processing Zone. And I spoke to him about it, and I remember what he said to me. He said, "This is good, Akin. Please proceed, and I will give you the full support." Mr. President, you're listening today, we proceeded. We did not relent, or you kept your word, and thank you very much. I would like to express, especially my deepest gratitude and appreciation to my dear brother, His Excellency, Vice President Shetima, for two reasons. When we started this work, Vice President Shetima was with us at every single stage of it. When we launched it in Kabila, the Vice President was there. I was there with the Minister of Agriculture. When we launched it in Calabar, the Vice President was there. And today he will have been here because I spoke with him, but he has a foreign guest that is actually receiving. And that's why he's not here. But what leadership, what passion, what commitment. I would like you to really express to his Vice President, His Excellency, my great gratitude to him for his tenacity, his vision and dedication and commitment to this work. Please give it up to the Vice President for what he has done. I would also like to say that what we are witnessing today would not have been happening except there was intense collaboration between three parts of government. The Honorable Minister of Finance, my dear brother over there, is not here today, but it's also the governor of the bank. I'd like to thank you because he made sure that the subsidiary agreements between all the states were actually done, and you actually had to do it, Dr. Akoni. So please give it up to the Minister of Finance and the Coordinating Minister, but also the Minister of Trade, Industry, and Investment, as well, of course, as the Minister of Agriculture. Thank you all for your great work. I'd like to start to you, Governor McInerney. You are an exemplary governor, Mr. I went to his house today. He gave us breakfast.
And when I got over there, he was apologizing to us that his house was small. He couldn't really take us because he built that house for himself. Now, it's not in the State House. And I remember telling him that you even build, as an engineer, you are very efficient. He's a very efficient governor. He builds himself a very small house that cannot even take 12 people around the dining table. Can you imagine? For a governor of a state. You are very visionary. You are very passionate. You are very committed. And you have a heart for the people. And I'm very, very appreciative of everything that you do. In Fashola settlement was one of those settlements in those days. It was moribund, as are many of the old farm settlements done by our Papa Awolowo. But you actually went there. And thanks to the Oyo State Agricultural Agribusiness Development Agency, we totally transformed that Fashola place. Today, they have about 11.1 billion naira of investment by private sector in that place into all kinds of things. And that is simply remarkable. You're an action-driven governor. Please give it up to him. It's been an incredible job, and I want to thank you for your outstanding job and stewardship for the state. Agriculture, ladies and gentlemen, is the backbone for transforming Nigeria. The Honorable Minister of Agriculture already told you that. But I do believe that Nigeria can and must be a global powerhouse in agriculture. Food is important. You have cheap food, people are happy, everybody can eat, the citizens are happy, and there is peace and security in the country. But you need investments to be able to do that. Investment from the public sector, investment from the private sector. And to be able to do that, you also need industrial platforms that will connect primary production all the way to how you store products, and how you process and add value, and how you ship all that to be able to sell. And that's what the special agro-industrial processing zones is really about. And I also want to thank the Vice President, because I think it was last year we went to the World Food Prize, where 2 years ago, I think it was, the Vice President was there also with us at the World Food Prize, where we discussed. Governor Makinde was with me at the African Development Bank when I met with so many governors to figure out how we should go about actually supporting this work. So I want to say that 3 things. Political will, very important, and you have that. The other thing is mobilization of resources, which I'll speak about in a moment. The other part of it, of course, is strategic alliances and partnerships. And I want to thank the Islamic Development Bank. I want to thank the International Fund for Agricultural Development, the West Africa Development Bank, and several other partners that we have here, because it's not just the African Development Bank. We actually work in partnership and alliances with others. Our goal is very clear, is to reduce massive post-harvest losses, develop logistics and improve linkages between farm production, agro-processing and value addition, transform rural economies, and of course to create jobs. Now when you think about jobs, we also have to think about revenue. Dr. Akande, you're here. Fiscal expansion is one of the things you have to look at. How do you expand the fiscal space? So when you look at rural economy with agricultural transformation like this, through this, you will expand the fiscal space because you're actually able to have a lot of businesses that are here. You can collect a lot of taxes, and you also create significant amount of jobs. I am delighted, ladies and gentlemen, that today the SAPZs, they are now being constructed in 28 sites in 11 countries. Just think about it, something that started from a small vision here. We at the African Development Bank, we put in $934 million to the development of these special agro-industrial processing zones. And we have also mobilized $938 million to develop them all across Africa. You know, the thing about processing and adding value is this. If you want to be poor, the export of primary commodities is the door to the national coordinate. The export of value-added commodities and products is a highway to wealth. And so it doesn't really matter what you have in terms of agricultural commodities, whether it is cocoa or coffee, or whether it is grains or whatever it is. If you're not adding value to it, it's actually going to make you poor. So what we're actually doing here is to be able to unlock that value. Let me thank as well other partners, JICA, the Japanese Development Agency, but also the Afri-Exim Bank, because they are part of the Alliance for Agro-Industrial Processing Zones that we set up. That alliance, we have already mobilized commitment of $3 billion to expand special agro-industrial processing zones all across Africa. And for Nigeria in particular, I personally chaired the session at the African Investment Forum, where we were able to mobilize $2.2 billion for Nigeria in particular to expand this all across the country. So you have 8 states to start. You have Oyo State, you have Ogun State, you have Cross River State, you have Imo State, you have Kaduna State, you have Kano State, and I think there's one of them, Kwara State, that is there. But we're going to be able to do this now in 28 more states. So think about it. The whole of Nigeria will have special agro-industrial processing zone. You're a very lucky minister. And then you can go around and see things that are actually being processed. Let me say that this is the first phase. And the second phase will start, as you have heard from the Honorable Minister, by September. Now, what I'm delighted about is I want to thank my team. I want to thank the Ministry of Agriculture, the Ministry of Finance, and also the National Coordinator of the SAPZ for working so hard for us to get all the documents ready for us to be able to do the phase 2 of this. Now, what that means is that when we have that phase 2, as you have 10 states to start, but eventually it will become 28 states all across the country. And what that means is that you have agro-industrialization at scale all across Nigeria. For me personally, I'm probably the happiest person here today because this is a dream I had, a vision I had 15 years ago when I wanted to create special agro-industrial processing zones across the country. Of course, you do the best. I left. I went to the African Development Bank, but I never forgot about it. And now that I'm at African Development Bank, just imagine the amount of resources we've been able to do this. So I have a lesson there for people. Never give up on your vision, no matter how long it takes. If you keep at it, it's going to happen. I also want to say something to commend somebody here today, the Honorable Minister of Agriculture. I'd like you to stand because I really mean what I'm saying. Please give it up to him. You see, one problem we always have in our nation, please sit down, is we don't continue things. And so when somebody starts things, they say it's that person's thing. And so when you come in, they say, no, let it go because that's that person's thing. And what I want to appreciate with the minister is that he told me that when he was appointed, some folks told him, well, let the special agro-industrial processing zones go away because they were actually developed, or that's the vision of Dr. Akinwumi Adesina. And he said, look, I know, but if it's a good thing for Nigeria, I'll do it. And it is a good thing for Nigeria. This is the kind of continuity we need to continue to do. It's not about you, it's not about me, it's about the nation, that we continue to do the right things, so we continue to. So I want to really thank you, and also thank the Minister of Finance and the Minister of Industry. Now, as I come to this place today, Ijaye community, farm settlement, this will transform your lives completely. Kabiesi, I saw Kabiesi here. Kabiesi, this will transform your community completely, from the farmers to the infrastructure to, of course, the power. There's no way people will have Kabiesi Ejo. Yeah. There's no way we will have something like this with processing facilities without electricity. So your electricity here is now certain 100%. Let me also say that this is a culmination of hard work by Dr. Debo Akonde. Debo, please stand. Please give it up to this man. He's worked incredibly hard for this to happen. I just want to show you my appreciation. Thank you very much, Governor, for giving him the opportunity. Now, as I close, this is actually my last time that I will be here in Nigeria as president of the African Development Bank, because my time comes to an end at exactly 8 a.m. on September 1st, 2025. But let me say how delightful it is. What a great honor. When I took over the bank in 2015, the capital of the bank at the time was $93 billion US. Today, the capital of the African Development Bank is $318 billion. When I started at the bank, we did everything right. Good governance, accountability, public probity, they are very important when you run institutions. Today, the African Development Bank was ranked as the best multilateral financial institution in the whole world. Going beyond that, the African Development Bank was also ranked as the most transparent financial institution in the whole world. That's an index they always use to rate financial institutions. And that index, of course, goes from 0 to 100. The African Development Bank scored 98.8%, which is the highest in the history of that particular fund. And I want to really conclude by saying that this will not have been possible without the incredible support of the government of Nigeria. I was sent on an assignment, but I think it was an assignment extremely well delivered. Let me therefore use this opportunity to thank His Excellency, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and also His Excellency, the Vice President, Shetima, for the great support that they have given me over the last 2 years that the President has been on sick. Please thank him for me when you get over there. Well, let me also thank the Minister of Finance, who is the governor of the bank, Mr. Wale Edun, who is also the coordinating minister of the economy, for the incredible support that I got from the Ministry of Finance, but also from the entire group there, the National Assembly, all the executive governors all across Nigeria, all the National Assembly members, the private sector, and the people of Nigeria. It's been a great honor to serve Africa. It's been a great honor to use that instrument to serve my country. I want to say that may God bless every single one of you.